Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about something that hasn't necessarily overtly been talked about in the church, but just from my experience, I kind of feel like it's kind of being communicated to individuals who ascribe to the Christian faith, and it's the topic of, is it wrong to be rich, right? Let's go ahead and dive into it. First of all, let's talk about wealth in the Bible. Before we go deep down and take a deep dive into it all, let's be clear that the Bible doesn't directly talk about being rich or being wealthy as something being wrong. All right, there are a lot of biblical characters like Solomon and Abraham who were exceptionally rich. However, it does provide important advice about how we acquire wealth and how we manage our money and how these can impact our relationship with God and other people. So one of the biggest things that we should be aware of when pursuing money and pursuing wealth is the dangers that come along with wealth. So one of the most vivid teachings comes from Jesus himself. In Matthew 19, he says, "Again, I tell you, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of God." Now, again, this doesn't mean being wealthy is inherently bad or evil. Rather, it highlights how wealth can become an obstacle to your spiritual growth and a distraction from God if it takes up too much of your focus and your affection. So we must be careful about not allowing money to replace the center of our life and our focus. Okay. So next, let's talk about how we acquire wealth. The Bible warns us about the pitfalls of dishonest gain. So in Proverbs 13, we read, "Dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow." So wealth should be the result of a diligent, honest work and not from deceit or exploitation. So now once we have the money, how should we use it? So now the Bible is packed with all sorts of exhortations of generosity and stewardship. In Proverbs 19, we read, "Whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deed." This verse uncovers our obligation to use wealth to aid those who are less fortunate. We should give, but it's not just about charity. The Bible also insists on fair treatment of workers. In James 5, it speaks against exploiting workers. It says, "Look, the wages you failed to pay the workers who moved your fields are crying out against you." So the wealth that we build should not be an expense of others. So as we come to an end of this discussion, let's just go ahead and recap the key lessons Christians should have about wealth according to the Bible. Number one, the love of money. The Bible warns us in Timothy 1, 6 through 10, that the love of money can lead to all kinds of evil. It's not the money itself, it's prioritizing it over God and ethical behavior, and can lead to a lot of trouble. Number two, honest work. Proverbs 13:11 emphasizes the importance of working diligently and honestly, stating that whoever gains money little by little through honest means makes it grow. Step number three, generosity. We make the money to help other people. Generosity is a recurring theme in the Bible through and through and through. It encourages us to be generous to the poor, promising that the Lord sees us. Okay. Number four, God's provision, though. In Matthew 6, 31, 33, Jesus reminds his followers not to worry about material things. Instead, seek God's kingdom first, and all these things will be provided. We also talked about the dangers of wealth. Wealth can be a spiritual obstacle. Jesus says in Matthew 19:24 that it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of the needle than for a rich person to enter God's kingdom, showing the potential spiritual difficulties associated with being rich. Next, we talked about stewardship. According to Luke 16, Christians are called to be good stewards of the resources they have been given. Trustworthiness in small things will lead to trust in larger matters. Lastly, fairness and justice. The Bible urges fairness and justice in economic affairs. James 5:4 warns against exploiting workers for profit, indicating that wealth should not be built on the suffering of others. So in conclusion, while the Bible doesn't condemn wealth, it offers important guidance about acquiring and managing wealth ethically and prioritizing spiritual growth above material wealth. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. I want you to go ahead and do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the like, share, subscribe button. Follow us for more insightful tips. I always look forward to encouraging you guys with these important topics. Leave comments about something that you may want to hear more about, and I appreciate your time. So until next time, may you stay inspired and allow your faith to guide you on your entrepreneur pursuits. We'll see you next time. Peace.